Hey there, it's Ben from Pattern Profits bringing you a few setups into Thursday, November 4th. Starting with Dick's Sporting Goods DKS, have a power earnings gap back here. That anchored VWAP acted as resistance back here and now flattening out right up against little peekaboo above it today and closed just above it as well. Volume shelf is right there. Have a little wick to work with. If we open up in that wick, see some continuation upside, should be able to clear that volume shelf, turn this anchored VWAP back to the upside. Pocket pivot volume today, that is what we like to see. Early entry opportunity for the all-time highs there at 140.85. I often say keep that anchored VWAP from prior pegs on, because as you see back here, this power earnings gap, that anchored VWAP ended up serving as support, as this one resistance here got kind of in the pinch there and now pushing out of it. I want to also point out big breakout in this group today in ASO, also retail, leisure, sporting goods. The call flow there, we saw it in Nike, BGFV, Big Five, ASO I mentioned. Nike also 174.38 pivot. I'm not going to share it, but that one's setting up as well. Just below pivot, 174.38. Just be aware, no handle there. But continuation upside through the volume shelf. Do have 10, 20, 50, 65 cloud. Would be nice to get those in alignment here to provide support on the way up for Dick's Sporting Goods DKS. Also have this a little semiconductor Powie. We've talked about ONTO. We've talked about ON. Some of these little semiconductor kind of smaller float and a little thinner as far as volume goes, but it's set up this little triangle here now right at anchored VWAP. You have 10, 20, 50, 65 cloud right there too. Volume shelf is just below, but it does look like you're setting up a power of 3 here with cloud support. So if you can come out of that triangle to the upside, provides early entry for that 110.66 all-time high, and then look for those clouds to come into alignment, 10 above 20, above 50, to provide support on any pullbacks. Pocket pivot volume again down here on the way up. So again, that's POWI, Power Integrations. Also have NMM. This in shipping, we've got a bigger cup pattern here. This basically forming as the handle. The cup high, 36.46. You're right up against that volume shelf there, and that descending trend line want to come out of there. This anchored VWAP from off of this high, also right there, maybe acting as resistance the last couple of days. This one, you do have the clouds in alignment there, 10, 20, 50, and looking for that to make the turn, that power of 3 with those moving averages to provide support on the way up. But do like this only if it can clear that descending trend line, get back above the volume shelf. You do have a standard pivot. This handle breakout will be considered early entry for that standard pivot above here at 33.95. And then you have the cup, the high of the cup, 36.46. So a couple levels to keep an eye on above. Also, GDRX, we've talked about this one a few times, and we're right back at that spot that we had highlighted in the past. Let me zoom out a little bit here, bring the volume by price over. So anchored VWAP here from the IPO, and you see this descending trend line here, anchor VWAP from the IPO here. Now we'll zoom in. You also have anchored VWAP off of the EPS, big EPS breakout here on big volume. So you have that one that's acted as support a few times just below. Now, this is where we talked about it last time, came through that descending trend line, but couldn't get through pivot and then pulled back. Now you're right back at that trend line again. If you can push through that descending trend line, I think you've got a shot. You've got a little over a week to earnings to take out that standard pivot of 48.05. bunch of pocket pivots on the way up. This is a sign of accumulation up the right side here. We do have the clouds 10, 20, 50, 65 in alignment here. So just needed to push through that descending trend line. Would be great if we see volume like we saw back here, or additional pocket pivots on the way up. Did see some call flow in this one a while back. Not so much today, but that's also worth keeping an eye on with this name. Again, that's GoodRx, GDRX. That's all I have into tomorrow. Hope you have a great trading day, and I will see you again tomorrow night.